There's no place in America for this kind of violence, or any violence for that matter.
Right now at 6, President Joe Biden calling on all Americans to denounce political violence. This as new details are emerging about the attempted assassination of Donald Trump at a campaign rally. And now the Secret Service is facing serious questions about how the shooter was able to take aim at the former president, what we know about the suspect and his motive. Thank you for joining us tonight at 6 o'clock. I'm Rana Novini. Tonight, the FBI is investigating the assassination attempt as a possible case of domestic terrorism. And a lot of questions are still lingering tonight, but this is what we have confirmed so far. The FBI has identified the shooter, who is dead, as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. He is from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. A motive is not clear right now. Authorities have also identified the rally spectator who was shot and killed. He is a firefighter and father named Corey Comparator. He was one of the thousands of people attending the Trump rally in Pennsylvania yesterday. Officials say 2 other people were also injured in the shooting. They are recovering in area hospitals. We have live team coverage for you tonight from Butler, Pennsylvania, to City Hall here in New York City, to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're going to begin in western Pennsylvania, where they're mourning a beloved former firefighter who was killed and holding on to hope for the 2 others who were injured. News 4's Chris Glorioso in Butler for us tonight. Chris, and a lot of people wondering how this could have happened.
Absolutely. Just on the other side of this fence is the scene of Donald Trump's attempted assassination. You can see up there that massive flag flying in the wind. That is just above and just behind the grandstand that 24 hours ago became a crime scene. But I want to show you just how close this killer was able to get to the former president of the United States. If you look beyond those trees, that is the building where he was able to get up to the roof. You can see some of the investigators. They've been there all day collecting evidence, processing the scene. And now the question tonight, how did a 20-year-old with a gun get so close to Donald Trump? Behind Donald Trump, in the seconds after he's hit, you can see North Carolina's Renee White. This was her 32nd Trump rally, and it is one she will never forget. A would-be assassin's bullet whizzing dangerously close to her seat.
And then I looked at Trump, and then boom, boom, 2 more shots. And then I watched him go down. And then after he went down, you saw the Secret Service jumping on him. You saw the guys up there with rifles, and none of it seemed real.
Donald Trump narrowly survived the attempt on his life, but one of his supporters did not. The man who died, ID'd as Corey Comparator, a former fire chief in nearby Buffalo Township who was hit in the head by one of the slugs. Pennsylvania's governor spoke to his wife, who told him Comparator died shielding his family on the grandstand.
He was someone that'd do anything for a complete stranger, so it is no shock to me that he would do anything to save his family.
2 other civilians also wounded in the botched assassination that federal investigators say was carried out by Thomas Matthew Crooks, a 20-year-old from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, about an hour's drive away from the Trump rally. He just graduated high school 2 years ago.
He was bullied almost every day.
The FBI is now asking the public for information about a potential motive for Crooks, also asking attendees of the Trump rally for video that may shed light on how he got up to that rooftop perch. It's something we asked Pennsylvania's governor about.
Governor, a lot of folks are starting to ask the tough question about whether that building that the shooter accessed should have been secured. Should it have been secured? And do the Pennsylvania State Police have any responsibility to have secured it?
I'm not going to get into any questions, answer any questions regarding the ongoing investigation.
The Secret Service has said the building was outside its security perimeter. Within seconds of shots fired at the former president, a government sharpshooter atop this building killed the gunman. The Saturday sniper attack already sparking political resentment in this corner of Pennsylvania, where a billboard went up accusing Democrats of targeting Trump. Renee White said she hopes the former president's resilience inspires his voters even more.
As soon as he got up and he raised his arm, I got up and went like this, like right behind, you can see me like right behind him. And I was like, yes, let's go. And to know that he's okay, I'm all for it.
Back live outside the Butler Farm Show grounds, which are now a piece of American geographical history. But the residents around here, they certainly didn't ask for it. I've spoken to so many of them today who either attended the rally or watched from afar and then found themselves diving to the ground or running away in what appears to be America's latest case of political violence. Reporting live in Western Pennsylvania tonight, Chris Glorioso, News 4 New York.
Okay, Chris, thank you. And President Biden speaking to the nation again this afternoon. He says he had a good conversation with Mr. Trump. News 4's Ida Siegel in the newsroom with us with more on the president's message for all Americans. Ida.
Yeah, Rana, President Biden is urging people to wait for thorough and accurate information before coming to their own conclusions about what exactly happened and why. He spoke from the Roosevelt Room today and did not take questions from reporters.
President Biden addressing the media from the White House this afternoon, his second appearance since yesterday's shooting.
Last night, I spoke with Donald Trump. I'm sincerely grateful that he's doing well and recovering, and we had a short but good conversation. Jill and I are keeping him and his family in our prayers.
Earlier today, the president was briefed in the Situation Room by the director of the FBI, Secretary of Homeland Security, Attorney General, Secret Service Director, among others. He has a message for people hungry for answers.
I urge everyone, please, don't make assumptions about his motives or his affiliations. Let the FBI do their job and their partner agencies do their job.
The president said he has directed the Secret Service to continue to provide elevated protection for former President Trump and all the resources needed to ensure his safety. He is also directing an independent review of national security at yesterday's rally to assess exactly what happened, promising to share the results with the American people.
As I said last night, there is no place in America for this kind of violence or any violence for that matter. An assassination attempt is contrary to everything we stand for as a nation, everything. It's not who we are as a nation. It's not America.
President Biden says his aim now is to try and heal a deeply divided country, calling unity the most elusive goal of all. He will go into more in depth on that topic when he addresses the nation tonight from the Oval Office. It's the latest reporting live from the newsroom. Ida Siegel, News 4, New York.
Ida, thank you. And the Republican National Convention kicks off tomorrow in Milwaukee. And despite what happened, former President Trump is heading there right now. Party officials say the event will go on. News 4's Melissa Russo live in Milwaukee for us tonight. Melissa.
Rana, the Trump campaign plane is en route from Newark Airport here to Milwaukee, where security concerns are under a new microscope after a terrifying but also potentially energizing new precursor to Trump's nominating convention here this week.
Former President Donald Trump heading to the RNC 24 hours after an assassination attempt with no plans to scale back his participation. After a law enforcement briefing today, President Joe Biden promised additional protection to his Republican rival.
I've directed the head of the Secret Service to review all security measures for the Republican National Convention.
At a Secret Service briefing late this afternoon,
the plans that we have in place will continue as is, and we're confident in those plans.
Even before Saturday's shooting, law enforcement considered the RNC a high-risk potential target, leaving some Wisconsin locals on edge.
Do you have any security concerns?
After what happened over the weekend, absolutely.
But as for the structure and the message of the four-day convention, a senior Republican official predicted no major changes. Wisconsin's Republican Party chairman today.
The plans have not changed, and we'll have a convention very, very focused, moving towards the future of this country with Donald Trump.
Today, Nikki Haley confirmed she has now accepted an invitation to the RNC after initially not being invited. Trump is calling for unity after this traumatic incident. But some Republicans on his VP shortlist last night blamed the shooting on Joe Biden.
I think that's a bit silly. I don't think any political candidate is trying to harm others in that physical manner.
While blaming Biden for the shooting seemed to stop today, billboards in Milwaukee were still blaring political messaging on both sides, and voters remain divided on whether unity will be possible. As President Trump and RNC officials promised to go on with the show, so to speak, some of the protest organizers today announced that neither will there be changes to their demonstration plans. They did, however, go out of their way to bill those demonstrations as family-friendly, perhaps implying that children might be present. Late this afternoon, the Milwaukee mayor said that open carry laws in the state of Wisconsin prevent them from blocking people from carrying guns right here in the outer perimeter, which is where we are standing here tonight. That's the latest live in Milwaukee. Melissa Russo, News 4 New York. Rana?
Melissa, thank you. And crowds are also gathering outside Trump's home here in New York City. Trump Tower, of course, on Fifth Avenue. There's also an increased police presence there as well. Our Jessica Cunnington is there tonight. And Jess, you have new reaction tonight from Melania Trump.
Yeah, the former First Lady releasing her first statement since the assassination attempt against her husband, and really all throughout it, she really called for unity and love in this moment. But yes, as you mentioned, increased security, the NYPD surging officers to certain sites across the city, including, of course, right here on Fifth Avenue outside Trump Tower. And as we spoke with different people who specifically came here today, they said that they wanted to come here specifically to show their unwavering support for Trump. Former President Donald Trump leaving Newark this afternoon, heading to Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention less than 24 hours after an attempted assassination, as a crowd of his supporters gather here on Fifth Avenue outside Trump Tower.
It's just unprecedented. I didn't think that we would get to this kind of low.
New Yorkers and visitors alike coming with flags and wearing MAGA hats as NYPD officers standing guard. The NYPD increasing its presence here since last night out of an abundance of caution, according to Mayor Eric Adams.
It's a lot of security and a lot of extra police presence. It's a little bit nerve-wracking.
Supporters acknowledging the intensity of this moment in history, still processing it a day later.
Seems like everybody's just trying to be an American right now and trying to be together and stick together.
America must be united. When America united in unstoppable.
He has put up with so much, and now he's literally taken a bullet. So through the blood, sweat, and tears, I think he's going to come out victorious.
And this morning, Melania Trump releasing a statement saying in part, "When I watched that violent bullet strike my husband Donald, I realized my life and Barron's life were on the brink of devastating change." She thanked those who helped protect her husband and went on to say, "Let us not forget that differing opinions, policy, and political games are inferior to love. Let us reunite now." And supporters we spoke with echoing the calls for unity.
I feel like we'll move forward with the election. He's going to keep hitting the pavement, and I think it's something that we need, some continuity within the United States.
And the crowds have thinned out here. It has been calm for several hours here outside of Trump Tower. But yes, lots of barricades and more police officers that are standing guard right outside the doors of Trump Tower. But people have been going in and out of the building. Live in Midtown, I'm Jessica Cunnington, News 4 New York.
Jessica, thank you. FBI is releasing more details about the gunman involved in the shooting at former President Trump's campaign rally. Let's get to our chief investigative reporter, Jonathan Dienst, live in the newsroom with the latest for us. Jonathan.
Rana, the FBI says they believe the shooter was a lone actor, but still too few answers as to motive and to how the suspect was able to access that rooftop with a direct line of sight to where the former president was speaking.
The FBI does not know why 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks tried to assassinate former President Trump. So far, no history of mental illness, no history of arrests or becoming radical. The FBI gave an update on the shooting by phone earlier.
We are investigating this as an assassination attempt, but also looking at it as a potential domestic terrorism act.
Investigators say they're also looking into how Crooks got up onto that roof about 400 feet from where Trump was speaking and was able to fire as many as 8 shots using a weapon like this, an AR-556. One bullet hitting Trump's ear as Secret Service agents took the president down to protect him, as a Secret Service counter-sniper quickly located and shot and killed the suspect. The FBI director joined today's phone briefing.
What we witnessed yesterday was nothing short of an attack on democracy and our democratic process.
At the shooting scene, inside Crooks' parked car, rudimentary devices found described as cans with wires and powder, but officials say tests will be done at the FBI lab in Quantico to see if they were functional. At the suspect's home in Bethel Park, a community south of Pittsburgh, officials say they have not found any writings, notes, or political propaganda that might speak to motive. They say Crooks' parents are cooperating. They say the rifle belonged to his father and had been purchased legally. Crooks is registered as a Republican, but had recently made a small donation to a Democratic campaign group. Officials stress the investigation is still early, with the FBI searching Crooks' phone and social media for clues. He did have a Discord account. The company issued a statement saying it was rarely utilized, and we have found no evidence that it was used to plan this incident, promote violence, or discuss his political views. Donald Trump left New Jersey to head to Milwaukee this afternoon for the Republican National Convention. Earlier, he went on social media to say, "It's more important than ever that we stand united and show our true character as Americans, remaining strong and determined and not allowing evil to win." Questions continue as to why that rooftop with line of sight to where the president was speaking was apparently left uncovered by security personnel. President Biden praised agents and officers who responded quickly to save lives, but also wants answers.
I've directed an independent review of the national security at yesterday's rally to assess exactly what happened.
As for the suspect Crooks, the FBI doing a detailed timeline to learn every move he made in the hours, days, even weeks that led up to yesterday's shooting. Rana?
Okay, Jonathan Dienst live in the newsroom for us. Jonathan, thank you. And here at home, the assassination attempt raising questions about local security and also increasing calls for more civility. News 4's Andrew Siff joining us live from City Hall in Lower Manhattan tonight. Andrew?
Right, just a little while ago, Rana, they wrapped up a unity conference at the rotunda of City Hall. More on that in a moment, but earlier we caught up with the mayor working a parade on Madison Avenue, also talking about the need to tamp down political rhetoric and, of course, political violence. A familiar rhythm for a summer Sunday in New York. But at the Cuban and Hispanic Day Parade on Madison Avenue.
Nice to see you. Thank you for being with us.
The Grand Marshal, Mayor Eric Adams, said it was hard not to feel like a target.
You think about it every day, especially your family members. They think about it. There are too many sick people that have access to guns, and they do sick things.
The mayor and NYPD ordering extra security at key locations in the city. You could see a drone above this small parade route and packed sanitation trucks capable of blocking any vehicle with explosives. But the mayor's message to New Yorkers: continue with everyday life.
This is a country where we do peaceful transitions of power. We do not use bullets, we use ballots.
Some of the attendees here, even at a parade, thinking about the political rhetoric that many believe has gone too far.
We have to be very careful things that we say and we do in this country. And a lot of people don't agree with certain things. And that's the reason why maybe sometimes people get out of hand.
On Staten Island, Republican leaders calling on the Secret Service to do more for future political gatherings.
We need to know that the people attending their rallies, whether Joe Biden's, Donald Trump's, or RFK Jr.'s rallies, are safe.
Late this afternoon in the City Hall rotunda, Mayor Adams alongside interfaith leaders, politicians from both parties, and the Reverend Al Sharpton calling for unity.
We will fight on the issues, but we will not fight about having the safety from the political arena that all of us should have as we participate.
Reverend Sharpton telling us he thought it was important to send this message of unity from former President Trump's hometown of New York. We're live at City Hall. Andrew Siff, News 4 New York.